Subscribing to The Observer on YouTube couldn't be easier, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. First, navigate to www.youtube.com/theobservernj. Once you get there, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button, click the down arrow and then all. And that's it. You're subscribed, and now anytime The Observer is live, you will be notified. You can now listen to the Observer Live podcast in languages other than English. Here's how. First, click on the Settings tab right here. Then, look up for audio track and click on that. Then, scroll around for different languages, find the one that you want to hear everything in, and click on it. And it's that simple. Now you can listen to everything in the language of your choice on the Observer Live podcast. Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the home studio on this, the 28th day of July in the year 2026. As you do every Tuesday, you welcome me into your home so that I can bring you this week's news. And as we've done all summer long, Tony Mondero joins us to talk about the weather. Tony, good afternoon.
And yet again, Kevin, another busy weather day.
What's going on? Get right into it.
Absolutely. The National Weather Service, folks, has two advisories we need to pay attention to today. A severe thunderstorm watch has been issued until 8 o'clock this evening. And also we have a weather flood watch that's also in effect. Probably during the program this afternoon, you may hear weather radios go off, alerts going off. It's a real busy day here at the Weather Center. To set it up, we had some morning low clouds and fog, which are slowly burning away. We could see a couple of peaks of sunshine as we get into the lower 80s with a nice southeast wind at around 8 to 12 miles an hour. And as some of you may see behind me, the radars are lighting up already, and we expect mid to late afternoon we'll start to ramp up here with periods of rain, which could be heavy at times, and thunderstorms could be strong to severe, meaning that we could have some locally gusty winds, some dangerous cloudy ground lightning activity, and also some small hail around. I think, Kevin, for today, any tornado threat would be well south of the area, unlike last Tuesday where we had a couple of confirmed tornadoes, two in Morris County, one Succasunna, and the other one in Pine Brook. So they were near and dear to us last week, the tornado threat. We think today it's a little bit pushed further to the south. But, folks, I cannot tell you enough. If there's heavy rainfall falling, you're on the road, please stay away from areas you know that flood, especially River Road, Passaic Avenue, Rogers Boulevard, Route 7, Fish House Road, and we go on and on. And remember, if water covers the roadway, as the National Weather Service tells us, turn around and don't drown.
What are we looking at tomorrow, though? You said there may not. When you say there's no tornadoes likely today, does that mean there may be tomorrow, or is it too soon for that?
I think, Kev, the threat of any real severe weather ends with time overnight tonight. And tomorrow is a better day. There could be still some showers and thunderstorms around, but I think to be more widely scattered than the more numerous ones that are coming in later for today, where some of the guidance is hitting at that we could have between 2 to 4 inches of rain in a very short period of time where the heaviest rain occurs, especially last night just to the north of Kearney and North Arlington. It looked like that they were on the southern edge of that big storm that affected Passaic County, where the Hawthorne area got 3 to 4 inches of rain in only 1 hour.
Whoa. Okay. All right. What happens in cases like that when you get so much rain in a short period of time? What's the best rule of thumb for people who may be in that type of area?
Well, if you're in a flood-prone area, I would definitely seek higher ground for people who live like where their houses may flood, in places in Wayne and places of Passaic County, if you're in a flood-prone area. If you're on the road and you know of any flood-prone areas too that rapidly collect water and flood, don't go near those areas at all. And if you have any travel plans, either wait for the weather to pass, or cancel plans altogether. You don't want to put yourself in harm's way, especially if you don't have to. And be weather aware. Have a weather app, like a weather bug, say, app per se, or any favorite weather app out there. Put your alerts on. Put your WIA warnings and stuff like that. You don't have to be Tony Mondero from the Harrison Weather Center with the knowledge that we have, but at least have some common weather sense and be weather aware when warnings are issued. You know how to take action. I feel we preach this, Kevin, me and you, and we still have people that drive through flooded roads, and our public safety officials around the area have to be plucking people out of flooded roads. It's not possible with the modern day technology that we have out there today.
If you're just joining us, Tony Mondero of the Harrison Weather Center is with us today. Tony, you say today's going to be pretty bad. What about the rest of this week? What are we looking at for the rest of the week?
I think after tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll get some slow improvement. Now, those are looking to get away for a weekend. Friday and Saturday, I think, are your best days of the weekend coming up. Low 80s, lower humidity once again. And then we slowly start to ramp up with showers and thunderstorms again, especially for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday and next week. They'll be scattered at this time, but there's something to watch out for. But if you're looking for like a pristine 2 weather days coming up, that's going to be really good if you have some vacation time or on vacation. Those days are going to be on Friday and Saturday this week with nice weather conditions.
What else is going on in the world of Tony Mondero on a day like today? Where do you have to stay behind the computer the entire day, or are you able to do other things? Tell us a little bit about how your routine works on a storm-like day today.
Absolutely. Now, it doesn't start today, Kevin. It started 3 or 4 days ago, where we're watching the computer models and we're watching everything come together. Today is more or less like nowcasting and figuring out what's going to be going on today. And now we're briefing emergency management. We're briefing Facebook posts on there. We're also making reports to the National Weather Service. Some of the data we get Skywarn spotter reports. People out there, reporting to us via cell phone or via a radio system that we have dangerous weather. We relay those reports to the National Weather Service, and there are times where our report will make a flash flood warning happen at the National Weather Service level. We've been doing that for many years. You'll see some of our shots here in the background. Just behind me, there's a computer that we could directly talk to the National Weather Service via text back and forth in called NWS chat. And then sometimes we have a shot where you see the red phone. That's for the National Weather Service at Upton, New York, and also in Mount Holly, New Jersey, where we're giving them direct reports, especially when we get reports of somebody injured, somebody killed, or any massive damage going on, especially in the cases of those tornadoes and funnel clouds last week over Morris County.
While you're here, would you mind telling us a little bit about what's going on in the background? Can you kind of explain a little bit of those screens that we're looking at?
Absolutely, Kev. What I'm going to push back, and then I'll explain what we have there.
Okay.
So just to give you a little bit of a tour. So we look here. This is one of our weather workstations that we have that are giving us lightning detection, the current wind speed and wind direction, current temperature. And this is a 72 slide presentation where we're seeing thunderstorm potential. We're seeing the near term daily weather reports and also extended weather reports on this machine here. Here is a program called a Flight Brief by WSI, and we're taking a look at the severe weather report there of lightning strikes and also thunderstorms. This is NWS chat over here, where we're able to communicate with the National Weather Service. Now, that's the main stellar information over here, which backs up the lightning detection and radar here called WeatherTap Pro. And then we have one of our weather stations here that we monitor surface weather reports. So hopefully that came across pretty good on our little tour there,
Yeah.
here on the Observer Live.
No, it did. It did. I don't mean to put you on the spot like that too, but I always kind of wondered.
No,
We
it's great.
see these things. We see these things every week, but I always wondered what else. But it looks like you've got even more there, though, right? It looks like, is that a CB radio or a police scanner or something else that you're looking at? What else you got back there?
Sure. All right. So for these radios here, nobody's on the same frequency. So for us to talk to emergency management and some of the police departments and some of the public safety officials, we have to have different band radios. So we have the modern day scanner here, and if you notice, everything is off, because if everything was on, there would be no way to do this program, because it would be overriding us with information coming in constantly. Two different types of radios here. One is a digital radio, and one is also a radio that talks UHF, or to amateur radio and stuff like that. And this little radio here does our air band. So what we'll do to take a look of just how bad the weather conditions are, what we'll do is we'll tune into Newark Tower, and we'll get pilot reports, what we call PIREPs, and we'll also get reports from the tower, just where and how intense these storms are coming into this area that are miles away. So we have many tools here that we use to monitor. Now, if you take a look at some of the more popular cable shows, you'll see on their computers are always blank. Well, what work are they doing if it's severe weather? Why are the computers always blank? We're busy here doing our thing.
Look at that. Look at that. Now, do you keep those radios on at all times, or is it usually just during like severe weather? How does that work?
Yeah, that's on all times. We'll shut the door here at the Weather Center. Everything is being active. I have a small radio here that you can't see that we talk to spotters on. That's better than the state police system that we're able to talk nationwide to spotters. So, in hurricanes, we can get reports now down in Texas and Florida on a two-way radio system. You may have seen advertisement for it. It's called Rapid Radio. And we have redundancy with local repeaters, too.
Wow, no, that's the first time I've ever heard of that. Is that like some kind of digital thing where you can get access across the country? How does that work?
Yeah, it has access across the country, but right now we use it for statewide coverage. So if I need to find out what the weather was in Ocean County per se, or Atlantic County, or Cape May County, what we got to do is pick up the radio and call a unit and ask them what the weather is doing down there. And also, we use a lot of webcams. We use a lot of webcams to ground truth. The radar may be seeing something, but to ground truth that, we need to either get some radio confirmation of it from a spotter on scene, the trained National Weather Service spotter, or even you, the public. When you guys report information on our social media, whether it be on the Observer site or the Harrison Weather Center site, we appreciate that information. Some of that information is relayed to the National Weather Service, and even sometimes the Hurricane Center, when we're dealing with hurricanes and tropical storms, and we're letting them know, ground truthing, what's actually happening on the ground. Because the radar could be saying one thing, but happening on the ground could be a completely another story.
Yeah, I guess there's a myth that the radar is the be-all and end-all, right? I mean, they're not. Is it possible that at times it doesn't always pick up everything that you need to know? Is that what you're saying, that basically?
Absolutely. The case in point was last Tuesday with the tornado that went through Pine Brook, New Jersey. That gate-to-gate shear, that tornado development in the upper atmosphere literally was developing over my brother Charlie's house in Hanover Township. He's just north of the airport. I called him and I said, Charlie, what's going on? He goes, look, Tone, we have a little bit of wind and that's all. He got very lucky because that tornado was developing over him. Funnel cloud was reported in East Hanover going over Route 10, and then finally touched down and did some damage in Pine Brook. So this is what we do. That radar is a great tool used properly. So yes, and if you're going out there looking for a radar app, which are good, use that just as a guide of what's going on. The National Weather Service official watches and warnings and advisory, not Tony Mondaro, the National Weather Service is going to have the correct information, and we'll plug in what's happening locally. That's what we do.
spoken a lot about tornadoes here, but this is not an area where tornadoes are big, like, so tell me what happens, like in a case, like what do you do if a tornado does hit?
Well, the best thing we can do, Kevin, is to try to warn everybody. And like when we'll come on here, we'll try to coherently tell you if there's a possibility of a tornado or not. A lot of times when we come on the air, especially if I'm going to make a statement about it, as Jim Eberwine used to say, the old National Weather Service forecaster at Mount Holly, New Jersey, and Jim's a great guy. He's retired down to Atlantic County now. And he told me, Tony, as a forecaster, can't be on an island. Got to take information from everybody. So if we get a situation where we're going to start saying about the potential of tornado development, we're getting on the phone with the National Weather Service and we're going to coordinate it. Hey guys, what are you seeing? It's like a couple of weeks ago, we had a situation where the Storm Prediction Center had us hatched for a tornado outbreak. Now you usually don't see that here in northern New Jersey. But we were
Right.
having conditions where we weren't getting a lot of sun, the winds weren't favorable, everything was working against it. And we called the weather service and said, hey guys, what do you think? Do you think this is going to happen? We kind of don't think it's going to happen, which it didn't. Like today, if you had a day today, Kevin, where we had full self-destructive sunshine, where the sun was out all day, and then you had a line like that coming, I'm telling you, all hell would have broke loose widespread. I think today will not be as bad as it could be, and today's going to be bad, but it's not going to be on like a day where it could have been. It could have been doubly worse today if we had the sun all morning.
Wow. Incredible stuff. Tony, what else is going on? Anything else in your world right now while we have you?
No, not at all, Kev. We're just here with summer. I'm able to catch up on a lot of little jobs around here, around the weather center, around the grounds of the house, which is good. And as you can see, here's a weather warning coming in now. So, and that's only one radio. The rest of them are turned off, and that's probably a warning for Morris County. There's some storms moving across there. So you think about that on a busy weather night when you have 5 or 6 weather radios going off through the entire weather center. I shut most of them off to make it easier for the program, so I could just shut it off.
Wow. Look at that. Right as we're talking, this goes off. Yes. I love it. Yes. Tony, it is always a pleasure. I am so glad we got a chance to do this today, and we'll do it again next week. How does that sound?
Absolutely. Folks, before I go, like and subscribe as always, because without you, we can't be here. It's number one. And thank you to Kevin and Lisa and the whole entire Observer staff for letting us do this. And to wrap it up, flood watch through tomorrow. I think there will be some flood warnings being issued later on today in the local area in New Jersey. Watch for that. Severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock. Watch for pockets of very heavy rain, especially mid to late afternoon into tomorrow morning. High slackens out. Hey, you want weather weekend days, Friday and Saturday. Sunday, not as good as those 2 days. And everybody have a great day. And Kevin, thanks again for the opportunity.
Thank you, Tony. We will see you again next week. Always a pleasure, buddy. Thank you.
There
he is, the one and only Tony Montero. He, of course, of the Harrison Weather Center. Always great to talk to Tony. He just knows he always knows what's going on. But how about that radio going off right in the middle of our broadcast today? Interesting stuff, to say the least. I want to say hello to a bunch of people who are watching here with us. Larry Hanlon, Debbie Garcia is here. Valerie Curry is here, Tony Marinero, Melanie Ryan, and my uncle Mike Slane is also watching from California. Just want to put this up on the screen. He said Jane, his girlfriend, got caught in a tornado in Appleton, Wisconsin yesterday. Good God. When you say caught it, I mean, I hope she's all right. I mean, I hope there was nothing else. But let us know what happened, Mike. Uncle, that's very, very unfortunate to hear that. I hope she's okay. Now, I'm going to start off today's broadcast, other than with what we talked about with Tony, with an opening statement. I'm going to do this every week now. And I want to talk a little about something that is in this week's newspaper, and that is the implementation and the beginning of the bike ordinance, or not ordinance, but the law in the state of New Jersey that went into effect. And just offer a couple of comments about what I'm seeing. If you have been just about anywhere around here, it doesn't matter what town you live in, you're almost always going to bump into young people riding these motorized bikes, whether it's against the flow of traffic, whether it's on the sidewalk, with multiple people on the bikes, with the teenagers not wearing helmets. And the law that went into effect is designed not to be punitive, but to protect young people from riding bikes and the conditions that they see on the road. But I cannot tell you, folks, how many times over the last couple of months, even now that this law is in effect in the state of New Jersey, where you will see young people riding around on bikes. And when they are doing so on these motorized bikes, there's no helmets. They're riding on scooters that are electric and they have no helmets. Yesterday, just in front of the office, a kid who couldn't have been more than 10 years old, riding around in circles, just going back and forth with absolutely no protection. And the reason that we talk about this is because at some point, the police are going to start pulling these kids over, and the parents are going to be held culpable for this. And it is so easy just to do the right thing and follow the guidelines that the state has set up. It's all over the place. You'll find all these guidelines just about anywhere. But right now, it just doesn't seem like there are that many people or adults who are willing to tell their kids that they have to do this the right way right now. And unfortunately, it's going to take a tragedy or some kind of tragic event for somebody to actually do something about it. So listen, folks, the law is in effect right now. Pay attention to it. And if you are the parent of a young child who has an electric bike or some kind of motorized bike or a scooter, whatever it is, make sure they're properly helmeted and all that kind of stuff. And now, in certain cases, the bikes have to be registered. So look at the law, follow the damn law before it's too late. Now, that I've gotten off my ranting, I have a few things that I want to get to that were sort of we were not able to get into the newspaper today. This is something going on in East Newark. I guess there must be people complaining on social media about this because there has been numerous issues, I guess, people saying that they were supposed to have their streets paved. It hasn't been done. When PSC&G has to do their work, they have to open up the streets a lot of times. There's no point in paving a street that's going to be needed to be opened up in the short term. So what the Borough of East Newark is saying is right now they've completed paving in areas that were not part of PSC&G's work. And as soon as the PSC&G work is completed, they will go ahead and they will complete the work that needs to be done with the paving. It's just important for residents to be patient and realize that this is not something that the borough has completely forgotten about. It's just the way it gets done. It's happened in Kearney many, many times where if there's something going on where the PSC&G people need to get under the road, they'll wait on the paving until the time is right. And that is what's happening in East Newark. This is very important. There is a major, major blood shortage, especially there is a need for type O negative blood. If you have the means to donate, please consider donating with the American Red Cross or the New Jersey, New York Blood Center, whatever it is, wherever your choice is. What they've told us is that they are about each day with what they're getting in, they have about a 1-day supply of blood each day. And if there's, God forbid, a bigger emergency, there would be some serious trouble. So if you have the means to donate, please consider doing it. And a lot of times now, because there is such a shortage, you can get free movie tickets. There's Amazon gift cards that a lot of places are giving away. So look in this week's edition of The Observer in the news briefs. In Belleville, there's going to be a blood drive in the first week of August, and all of the people who make a donation there would receive, I think, a gift card. But you can check that out for yourself. But it's a serious, serious issue right now. Now, at the end of the day yesterday, we got word that a Harrison resident had been arrested and charged with possession of sex abuse material. We weren't able to get it into the paper. But I wanted to let you know that according to the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, this gentleman, Daniel DePasque, 49 years of age, has been arrested and charged with possession of sex abuse material. And the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office says they have about 15, he was caught with 1,500 images of child pornography on some of the devices in his home. He has since been arrested, taken in, and because it's the state of New Jersey, he's been released already. But I don't want to get into that again. I'm just so sick and tired of hearing these stories about crimes that take place and people being sprung right afterwards. Now, this one is something that came in just today, or was actually yesterday, but I just found about it today. The Harrison Police Department had been in an investigation with the municipal court about misappropriated funds, and it turns out that a town employee, Gabriella Sandwith, 38 years of age, is arrested and charged with theft of movable property. I'm not sure exactly where she is employed or was employed with the town of Harrison, but apparently money was missing, and they found, somebody did an audit and they found out about it. So she will forfeit her job with the town of Harrison. Obviously, she's going into Hudson County pretrial intervention. If she completes it, this will be wiped away. But what a shame. What a shame that something like this has happened. But good on the Harrison Police Department for picking it up. Now, this is the one that threw me off. We talked about it a little bit last week, but I just wanted to bring it up to you again. This is the story of Nicholas Masucci. He was 60 years of age at the time of his disappearance on September 18th, 1974. Detective Sergeant John Fabula has reopened this cold case. And if you have information about Mr. Masucci, the police department wants you to call 201-283-5656, 201-283-5656. If you search this gentleman's name, Nicholas Masucci, you will see all sorts of stories out there. Some very strange ones, in fact. What's true, what's not true, I can't tell you. There's this guy who is a former FBI informant who claims he knows where Masucci's body is in the East River in Brooklyn underneath the 59th Street Bridge. I don't want to necessarily get into all of that, but I do know that Nick Masucci's daughter did watch our broadcast last week. She has a connection from Kearney. Nicholas lived in Kearney when he disappeared, and it would be beautiful if that family could finally get some kind of closure about what happened to their dad back in 1974, almost 52 years ago. But if anybody may have any kind of information, I know the chances are very, very slim, but give a call to Detective Fabula. Don't do it this week or next week, but after that, he'll be back. You could probably leave a message on the tip line, and maybe the Masucci family can find some sort of closure. But not often that you see a cold case of 52 years almost reopened. But if anybody can solve a case like this, it's definitely Detective John Fabula. Now, as I've been saying each and every week, the Kearney Public School Uniform Exchange is underway, and the school supply drive is also underway. But Jenny Paz wanted me to let you know that there is a new drop-off location that we have not been talking about, and that is StarMed's Pharmacy in North Arlington. They are at 382 Belleville Turnpike, and you can bring supplies there for whatever reason. And if you have uniforms to donate, you can bring Kearney Public School uniforms to StarMed Pharmacy as well. My understanding is that for some reason this year, donations of the uniforms are very, very slow right now. So it's very important for people to start bringing those uniforms in so they can get laundered. I know people have schedules, they have busy lives, and things happen. It's just the way it is. But if you have those uniforms that you're not going to use anymore for whatever the reason is, bring them to to any of these locations so that they can be laundered and then given back out to members of the school community when we get into August, when it's time for the uniforms to be given out. And the same thing with the school supplies too. These are very difficult times economically. We understand that, but if it's in your means, please consider bringing some school supplies to donate, and backpacks, things of that nature. that Jenny so desperately needs for this drive to make it successful. And that's it. Interesting broadcast today. Thank you to Tony Mondero. Don't forget, we need to get our YouTube numbers up. We are so close to getting to 1,000. All it takes is a quick visit to www.theobserver.live. It brings you to our YouTube page. Click on the like button. And I'll tell you this, I know Melanie Ryan is watching us today on YouTube, and she normally watches us on Facebook. So I want to thank her for doing that and for helping bring attention to this. The quality of the video is better. For some reason, we keep getting knocked off on Facebook. I have no idea why that has been happening, but it has. So if you can, just go over there and like our page over there on YouTube. All you need is a Gmail address to be able to do it. You don't have to give all sorts of information. If you have a Gmail address or a Google account, log in that way and click the like button. It will go a long way for us to get to 1,000 people who are following us, and we can do a lot more once we get there. All right, everybody, that's it for today. We will see you back here 1 week from today, or if any news breaks, we'll bring it to you then. From the home studio, Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.